Hello and welcome back to the final review of March. And it's honestly one of my favorite Irish movies of all time. And that is The Snapper. So obviously you could tell by the title and the thumbnail that I'm reviewing The Snapper. So this is the second movie in the Barrystown trilogy. The first being The Commitments, then it's The Snapper, and then finally it is The Van. So I've actually only seen two of the three movies in this unofficial trilogy, but are three separate stories. And that is obviously The Snapper, and I see The Van. And so I believe in all three films, Colm Meaney is in it. So in this, Colm Meaney is playing the main titular dad um of Desi, and he's gets the unfortunate news, well, fortunate slash unfortunate news that his 20-year-old daughter and the eldest, Sharon, is pregnant, and yeah, hijinks ensues. Essentially, this film is it's a comedy and it's a drama, but the main goal is for what it was like, depicting what something would have been like back in the 80s slash 90s in Ireland. The stigmatism of having a child out of wedlock, because in case you don't know, Ireland up until rather recently was a heavily religious country. I mean, it still probably is to some degree, but I never grew up religious. I was baptized as a Catholic, but I do not practice the faith. And it's the Catholic Church has had a staunch grip on this country for many years, and so that's just the way some people were raised, and throughout the entire film, as the movie progresses, we do see that Sharon gets called many different names like slut, whore, that type of stuff. She's constantly being ridiculed every time she leaves the house. And when word gets out on who the potential father is, then her entire friend ecosystem breaks apart, where she only has really one true friend left. And on top of that, Desi is really struggling to come to terms with that, especially when he hears who the potential father is. George Burgess, their neighbor across the street, who is even older than Desi. And so it's, just the two of them trying to come, mainly for Desi, he's trying to come to terms with it, whereas Sharon is just trying to get on with her life. She wants to have this child by herself, and she's going through all of this stuff. There's no, it's Ireland. There's a lot of drinking that goes on throughout in this entire film, but I still enjoy it. It's just one of my comfort films that I can easily throw on and have a laugh. And as always, Colm Meaney is absolutely amazing in this movie. There's probably even a nod to his role in Star Trek in this, because I'm pretty sure he filmed this movie whilst working on Deep Space Nine. The show that loved to torture his character of Chief Miles O'Brien. And yeah, there's a scene where when Sharon's water breaks, he's told this by one of his other daughters. He starts to scream, "Red alert! Red alert!" Which kind of feels like a nod to his role on Star Trek. So Georgie Burgess, and the how it comes about that they find out that he's the father, but because Sharon spins a tale that it's a Spanish sailor that came to town, and that's the story that she's sticking with, even though she does, after it starts to go around that it's that George is the father of this child, because he's going around to saying to his mates just how much of a ride that Sharon is. And so then when Desi goes to talk to her about it, goes straight over, and it turns out that he still has her panties from when that happened. And like I said, there is a lot of stigmatization there, from in the 90s of having a child out of wedlock. And she definitely goes through quite a bit. One time when she comes home drunk, she still hears voices of that night, that tortures her. And not only that, there's another time where she's completely out of it, and hearing the disapproval of all of people around her parents' age, that like to gossip. Those type of people that, I think in the 80s they were called yentas, that love to talk. But like I said, I love this movie. It's definitely I wouldn't say it's the best Irish movie out there, but it's pretty. It is up there. And I love it more than I love The Van. I gave The Van a shot and I didn't like it. But when Sharon goes to have the baby, after Desi patches things up with Sharon, because Sharon threatens to move out because he, even though she's again still trying to stick to the story that it was actually a Spanish sailor, Desi gets into a bunch of fights. And so she decides to move out essentially, and he breaks down, and that repairs their relationship. And so he's the one who brings her there. He even offers to be in the delivery room with her, which, back then, he even talks about how when most of his kids were born, he wasn't there. He was either off working or down the pub. And so that, again, that when his first grandchild is being born, that's where he is, because she doesn't want him in there. And so once he's told how big the baby is, which if memory serves me correct, because it's been a few days since I rewatched it, was 7 pounds 14 ounces. And so he's in the pub, he gets his Guinness, and he goes to the person's sat beside him and says 17 pounds 14 ounces. That's big A. And the old codger's like, is that a baby or a turkey? And he's like, it's a baby. He's like, big size for good size for a baby, awfully small turkey though. And that had me in stitches the very first time I watched this movie. So yeah, I'm happy that I rewatch it every now and again. So if you have seen The Snapper, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. And if you haven't, then I highly recommend that you go and watch it. It doesn't have a Blu-ray release as far as I'm aware. And actually, but adding on to this, the author of it, Roddy Doyle, I met him once. He came to my primary school to bring out one of his children book, and I have his autograph, that book that we got as an autographed downstairs. So I just thought I'd throw that in. I have no very vague of memories with that, but it's something that I completely forgot to mention in this review. But anyway, that is going to be it for March. Starting next month, we have another trilogy month coming your way. So, but the next video will be up on April the 4th, which will be my Sherlock Season 3 review. And then we will kickstart into three weeks of trilogy month. So obviously I'm going to have a Caesar reel up for that tomorrow. But the trilogies that I'll be covering is the Captain America trilogy, the first 3 Harry Potter movies, as well as the Karate Kid trilogy. So yeah, assuming that that's all that's still going ahead, those will be the trilogies that I cover. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall catch you all on the very next upload.